Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. Well, World's End ended last night, and you're asking yourself, well, what just happened? We had the finals, the semifinals and the finals of the Continental Classic. Couple title matches and a big return, but let's get into it. We start off with the pre-show. We had 3 matches on the 0 hour. Toni Storm, the rookie, defeating Leila Gray. Jeff Jarrett defeating QT Marshall, and the team of Leo Rush, Action Andretti, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer defeating the Outrunners and Top Flight. There were some shenanigans after the match with Leo and Action getting to the face of Private Party. And Jeff Jarrett also announced that he would be making a decision about his career this Wednesday on the Fight for the Fallen simulcast. But that was the pre-show, so let's get into the main card. We opened up with the semifinals of the Continental Classic, and our first match was Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay. This is the second time they faced each other, as they faced each other at last month's Full Gear. And ladies and gentlemen, watching this match, you can see why they pushed Kyle Fletcher. This was an absolute banger of a match. And it was entirely different from their first encounter at Full Gear. Ospreay was cut open really badly early in the match, and he had a crimson mass going on, and it never really coagulated, so it led to plenty of drama. And the announcers did a really good job laying out the effects of such cut on Ospreay, so it really helped give Kyle Fletcher an edge. But ultimately, Will Ospreay pulled this one off. I don't think I was ever in doubt about this one. He even won with the Styles Clash, and Ospreay noted to Fletcher that they are 1-1. So this feud between these two are far from over. This was an absolutely fantastic match. Then we had the other semifinal match with Ricochet versus Kazuchika Okada, who is the reigning Continental Champion. I got this one wrong, okay? This one was a much different affair, a little slower, a little more paced, yet but these two did put in a solid affair. Ricochet's heel turn, her slow burn, has been working tremendously. And I thought Ricochet would win here to face Ospreay, but ultimately it was Kazuchika Okada winning the match, winning with the Rainmaker, and taking it to Ospreay. So this was a really good encounter. I would like to see these two maybe get another match and really dive into it. So after Okada leaves, Swerve comes out and says, listen, I told you I was going to embarrass you, Trevor, which is Ricochet's real name. And he says, if memory serves me correctly, you said you were going to win the Continental Classic. Well, you lost. So Prince Nana came out with a wagon full of toilet paper, passed them out to the crowd, and they started tossing it to Ricochet. Happy New Year, Trevor, as Swerve said to Ricochet, and Ricochet was seething in the ring. It's okay. They can make him look like a punk. They can make him like a fool, but this is going to ultimately lead to a major hero turn, probably even joining the Hurt Syndicate. I am very intrigued with this feud going on between Swerve and Ricochet. It's a good way to move Swerve into something else before moving him back into the world title picture, but this is good. This is going to work. This is really going to work. Next up, we had an interview backstage with Renee Paquette interviewing Will. He's like, yo, let's go, showing some excellent fire. Then we had the Tijuana street fight with Mariah May defending the AEW Women's World Championship against one Thunder Rosa, whose father was at ringside. And this was good. My only real complaint about this match was that Mariah May didn't take a lot of big bumps. You know what I mean? Thunder Rosa did a lot of the heavy lifting here. She did a lot of the really big moments and spots. So that was always going to really play into her favor. But ultimately it was Mariah May who won with a power driver off of the ring apron through a table. Mariah May was absolutely detestable here, getting into Thunder Rosa's father's face. She took a nice little bump with the thumbtacks, but Her winning was probably never earned, even though I think I picked Thunder Rosa to win this just because Grand Slam Australia is coming up, which will be the day after Valentine's Day. Grand Slam Australia takes place February 15th, which is a Saturday. So we kind of know where this is heading. But this was a good way to ignite Mariah May, ignite Thunder Rosa. Do not fail Thunder Rosa. Keep going with it. Then we had the Dynamite Diamond Ring match with MJF versus Adam Cole, and ultimately MJF won, as he is now a 6-time winner of the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He was always going to win the match, which sucks, but it is part of his character. Hopefully this feud is over, just because after the match, the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom, Roderick Strong and Kyle came out and they all attacked Max, took him down. So ultimately MJF gets the final win in this feud, but the Undisputed Kingdom get the last laugh. Hopefully this is over, and we can move forward onto something else. Next up, we had the AEW International Championship, as Konsuke Takeshita was defending against Poeerhouse, and this was a straight up meat, beef, hoss fight. You couldn't ask for anything better. These two really beat the snot out of each other. Just a lot of ham hogs and fists and elbows and clothesline. And Hobbs looked really good. He played on to a knee injury, and he made him look very vulnerable. But he put his best foot forward, but ultimately Takeshita won. Here's Hobbs struggle to his feet after the match. Takeshita won with the Raging Fire Falcon Arrow for the win. This was a really good match. Even though it suffered, lack of credible build, I can see these two running it back. Hobbs has finally looked good. He's always looked good, but he's impressed with his limited opportunities. And this was a nice clash of styles for him. There was a point in the match where it looked like Hobbs was going, and Callis got up from commentary because he was terrified. But this issue between them two is not done. I really enjoyed this. Renee Paquette was interviewing Kazuchika Okada. She congratulated on his win. Okada said Ospreay is like his brother, his little brother, but he's on another level. Then we had one of my favorite matches, probably my favorite match of the evening, Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship, and this was a banger. Does it top their previous match at Full Gear? It comes very close. This was an absolutely fantastic match. These two just have really good chemistry together. Mercedes worked over the knee, worked over the leg, whereas Stat used the power. There were a lot of big spots with Monet getting powerbomb and her hitting Stat with a power driver on the ring apron. These two were just throwing shots after shots, counter after counter. Mercedes Monet hit 6 amigos, whereas Stat was never going away. She hit a package power driver on Monet, and it still was not enough. At one point, Monet was like, "Why won't you just die?" Like, these two were awesome. This was such a really good match, and ultimately Mercedes couldn't win with her finisher, so she got Stat into a nice little leverage pin where she trapped the arms, trapped the legs, and there was nothing Stat could do. This was an absolutely fantastic match. Monet rolled out of ring, clutching her belts, and gave Stat a nod of respect, and Chris got her standing ovation. This was good. You can't turn Monet face, because all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh wait, she's a good wrestler." Yeah, she's a damn good wrestler, you idiots. You can't turn face. She's got to stay heel. I think you have to follow up with Camille. Mercedes can go on to defend her titles against Mina Shirakawa at Wrestle Dynasty, and we can see what happens with Stat. Maybe we start going with the redemption storyline with her and Willow Nightingale. This was an absolutely fantastic affair. Then we had the finals of the Continental Classic, Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada. And ladies and gentlemen, these two know each other very well. This almost went the full 20-minute distance, but it started out a little bit slow, and we pretty much were going counter for counter, blow for blow. We're building up on Okada being one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tournament wrestler ever. And this was solid. But those last 5 minutes with the counters, the headbutts, the rainmaker, but it was a weak cover. Okada kicking out of the Stormbreaker, and Ospreay ducking a rainmaker, going for the hidden blade, but Okada ducked that, and then he pulled Okada for another Stormbreaker, but Okada turned into an arm drag, popped him up, tried to hit him with the rainmaker, but Okada ended up getting countered into a Tiger Driver, which Okada spun out of, and then finally hit a rainmaker for the 3 count. This was absolutely fantastic. The Hurry had to check on Ospreay because he was bleeding once again. Okada held up 5 figures and loaded to his 5 tournament wins. Ospreay refused the medical attention, put himself to his knees and accepted a handshake from Okada. Respect shown from these two. As Okada celebrating in the ring, Christopher Dane says, he comes out, congratulations on his victory. He says, normally this is where I represent you with the championship and the title, but he's no longer an EVP. But this man is, and we got the return of I am a better guy. Kenny Omega has made his return to AEW. He came to the ring, handed Okada the championship, and he looked face to face, and these two rivals never said a word. This is going to be good. We have not got Kenny versus Okada since Okada came to AEW. This is going to be solid. So there's that, and then finally our main event, the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW World Championship, with Jon Moxley defending against Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White. And here's the thing. The 3 challengers all ganged up on Jon Moxley very early and very often in this match, trying to take him out of this match. But the numbers game was always going to be there for Mox. So while the match is going on, Christian is up in the booth, up in the box, watching, because he's got that contract, and then Hook is watching Christian. So I love the moving parts here, and there was a lot going on. The highlight of this match was Jon Moxley getting hit with a shield powerbomb through the announce table, which the crowd definitely acknowledged. This was solid. This wasn't a super great match, but it was still good enough. But ultimately, the numbers game with the rest of the Death Riders came into play, allowing Moxley to get the win. 1, 2, 3, and they were going to, after the match, going to take out Jay White, Pillman High, until FTR came out and said they did not come along, as Adam Copeland made his return, joining FTR. So we got rated FTR, and they cleared house, pushing the Death Riders away, and Mox ran away. Copeland was on the mic and stated to Mox that, oh no, we're not done with you, because on Fight for the Fallen, it will be rated FTR versus the Death Riders. I'm assuming this will be for the Trios Championship, possibly, but this is good. I love the moving parts here in AEW. The main event wasn't the greatest, it was sloppy, but we had all of these little bits and pieces. Even when Adam Cole returned, Christian was scared and left. Like, this is going to be good. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop, whether that's a quote-unquote higher power, whether that's Darby Allin ultimately being the one to take down Mox, but whatever it is, I'm very much intrigued. I'd be very remiss not to mention Jay White being an equal opportunity fighter, as he gave, as everything was breaking down, he gave Marina Shafir, this was at the end of the match, gave Marina Shafir a Blade Runner. She was dead. She was out. Willow Nightingale was not needed here. Very well deserved. This was just good. We have to make sure we continue rolling with Cassidy and Jay White and Hangman. Don't let them just fall by the wayside. You have all these main eventers pushing, vying for the World Championship. I love the interconnected stories here. This was needed. Match not great, But I love the mix here, and Marina Shafir sold that Blade Runner. Here, overall, this was a very fine show. I don't like that some of the titles didn't change hands. I would have loved for Stats or Thunder Rosa to win. I would have loved for Hobbs to win, but ultimately that's okay. This was a good show, fine show. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. With my match of the night, for me it's a tie between it's a three-way tie between Ospreay Fletcher, Ospreay Okada, and Monet and Stat. So that's what just happened for AEW Worlds. In the next show we got coming up, minus Fight for the Fallen, will be Grand Slam Australia, and then have an AEW Revolution after that. But that's our show. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.